All right, it says we are live. So I will trust that we are. Just going to check Dlive real quick. Magic, we're there. Awesome.
Nice.
Should I be looking at the chat?
Yeah, if somebody wants to monitor Dlive chat, that's cool. That's the only one I can't pull up here. I can pull up Twitch or YouTube. But, yeah. All right, everybody. It's Cabana Crypto with crypto events. Richie Rich and maybe another guest here in a little bit, kicking off the first happy hour of 2021. Vince, used to seeing you on here, so welcome back yet again. 3 for 3. Great having
me. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And Rich, man, how was your? This is the first time we've ever streamed together, so this is awesome. I've been looking forward to this for a minute. How was your holiday, New Year, all that stuff?
It was pretty good. Just took it easy. Didn't really do anything. Well, for New Year's, I went to a get together. I guess we can't call it a party, but a little get together.
Little one or a big one?
I'm not allowed to say. It was definitely fun.
All right, nice. I think you're Midwest, right?
Yeah, I'm in Denver.
Oh, okay. So that's like you're in Denver. So when we see like the shots on Twitter and stuff like that, it's kind of like you're looking out over the city, kind of.
Yeah, I got a view of the city and then the mountains.
That is too cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I've always wanted a place to view like this, and made it possible with HEX last year. It's pretty nice.
Well, hopefully more things to come. So
yeah.
Vince, man, how you been?
I've been okay. Yeah, I've just been kind of recuperating from all the abundance of HEX content out there, including the conference. So
yeah, you're not joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I still haven't watched every single part of the conference. I've seen, I want to say 75% of it, maybe, but yeah, we're talking different pre. There's so much content out there right now, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So starting to get viewers in. Just want to say, hello once again. First happy hour of 2021 crypto events. Richie Rich Crypto. Might have Big Kirk here in a little bit. If you haven't yet, Twitch, YouTube, Cabana Crypto. That's where I'm at. Try to do Fridays at 5 Eastern, as regular as possible, excluding holidays. We'll see how it goes later in the year when summertime comes and everybody's busy. But for now, you can expect this here. Just had an awesome HEXchange conference. So I wanted to start off with that. Richie, I know you're kind of catching up with some of the content on there, but I wanted to ask Vince if you had any favorite moments, or maybe we don't want to spoil it for Richie, but any favorite speakers or anything that stuck out to you over the course of the 4 days.
Well, yeah, it's so hard to choose because there was just so much good content from everyone, and but I will say some of the things that I enjoyed a lot were the video performance of the HEX anthem. Yeah, for Freddie, he absolutely killed it. It was amazing. So
the Freddie quotes.
Yeah, Freddie quotes.
Yeah,
it was really good. And yeah, just in general, like it was really touching to see how HEX changed everybody's life. With everyone just talking about just giving their testimonies and just sharing to the world how Richard and HEX changed their life. So that was pretty nice. But one talk I really liked was Kyle's, Dev Kyle's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really gave a good kind of history of how he got involved in HEX, and I think that was a really good watch for people. So. And then of course Richard showed up day 4, so yeah, it was just him dropping knowledge bombs for hours. So yeah, that's a really good one to rewatch.
Yeah, I think I probably watched half of it. It was like so late that night that I just kind of was spacing in and out, and I think I caught like the very end of it. I woke up, and it was really cool because he went out around the room. I think it was like 8 other Hexicans in there, and it was cool because he just shouted out really quick. Just a little one to each one, be like,
Yeah.
Hey Kareem, you do this, I see you, and URG3, and it was just a cool little moment there. It was brief, but it was just a great way to end it.
Yeah, that part was really touching. I mean, he took the time to personally shout out every single person on the stream. So it just really shows how much attention he pays to the community as a founder. So I really loved it. That moment, that was really cool. Yeah.
And I think one of my favorites, I think Rich will enjoy watching it, is I think it was the first keynote, the first night with
Crypto Sparbook.
Yeah, Crypto Starbucks of Germany. How do you, what's the pronunciation?
Sparbook, I think.
But it was Patrick and was it Abit?
Yeah.
So
Patrick and Abit.
Yeah, it was well planned. It was, they had graphics on the screen.
Yeah.
It was just awesome, man. It was like the keynote, and I kind of felt bad for Hexo and RG3 after that. I mean, they did well, but you could tell the time and effort that Patrick and David put into it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
See, that's a good example of German and Austrian engineering at work.
Yeah, really. What else do I want to comment on about that? Oh, yeah, so let me just pull it up here. Something cool that came out of it was actually, I think, announced on Discourse. The
badges, right?
Yeah, so the next night, we had Maddie and Joe come on Discourse Syndicate, and I know Richard's not into like NFTs or anything, but he did bless this with Maddie when they were talking on at the conference.
Yeah.
But some really cool badges for Hexican tier. We got like the Hex badge Day 1 FOMO, which is like the limited edition, which is really cool. There's only 369 of them, and that's the only one that's limited I see right now. But a lot of these others, you got the Quattro Cinco, Bitcoin Free Claim, Big Payday, Adoption Amplifier, and attended the first Hex conference. So it's really cool stuff in there. I got the Hex conference attendee. I do qualify for the other 5. How about you guys? How many do you qualify for?
I think I pretty much qualify for all of them.
You FOMO'd Day 1?
Yeah. I FOMO'd 2.5 Ethereum on Day 1. Oh man.
I put in a little just to say I did it.
Yeah.
Did you get some on Day 1, Rich?
Oh yeah, I definitely promoted. Yeah, I think I bought I kept buying. I bought multiple times.
Like multiple times on Day 1?
Yeah, every time I kept going, I don't know. I definitely FOMO'd. But I did I was prepared for it, but it still kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Got excited and definitely bought too much. But I've been buying this whole time. I pretty much buy almost every week. So
nice. All right, I'm being asked for the link, so I'll get it to you guys in chat here in a second once I get a break. But let me go back to it, and yeah, so it's just some really cool stuff. I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Joe Exotic was one putting them together, the artwork at least.
So what is the deal with those? You can I assume you buy them.
Yeah, so I think they're kind of more like a badges of honor in a sense. I mean, they were joking on stream that Coffee was going to flip them, buy them, especially the Day 1 FOMO because there's only 369 and sell them or whatever. That was funny, but
how much are they?
I think it's like 0.02 ETH, so like 20 couple bucks. But I mean, you got to keep in mind gas prices. So gas prices, depending upon when you get them, are just as much. So
Probably double the cost. Yeah.
yeah, maybe like wait to overnight, or especially like Saturdays or something. This weekend might be a good time for Hexicans to get in there and
Yeah.
get some. Let's see.
I also like how Maddie pointed out. They kind of made it in such a way where if somebody actually tries to flip it, all the money will actually go back to the original creators. So
Okay.
yeah.
How does
They
that
figured it out. So go back to the original creators.
So how does it work though? Is it just like a? I've never bought any of it, NFTs or anything like that. So do you just like send them to your Ethereum address? Is that how that works? Or?
From what I understand, there's a separate section in the MetaMask wallet for collectibles, and then yeah, I haven't actually done this before, so I'm not entirely sure. But
Okay.
Yeah, I'm letting Vince talk while I put the link in the chat. Here,
yeah. I think I'm not sure how to access that part of MetaMask on desktop, but yeah, apparently it's an entire section for NFTs, and then you just connect with that site, and then you buy the NFT, and then it shows up.
Thanks,
Are
Kinetic.
you buying me a Knipples NFT?
Knipples NFT. Too funny.
I'm pretty sure that'll be not safe for work.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Serena? So yeah, I actually got one. So when you go to the Rarible site, and I think you can connect wallet up in the upper right, and as long as you're connected to MetaMask, at least that's how I understand it to work and work for me, then you can connect that way. And then here, I think you can click on the upper right, and Maddie said, don't go to place a bid, do purchase now. And that's the button that you want to do. And then once you click that, it'll should connect to your MetaMask wallet. And then you can go through. It's kind of like, a transaction from that point. You send some ETH in, and then that token will go to that address of your MetaMask wallet.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a cool thing that they did for Hexican community, and I badass. So and I know Richard's not big on the NFT thing, but in terms of social capital, I think that was the way that Maddie explained it to him, which made sense. And he was like, yeah, it's kind of like rewarding or reinforcing good behavior of Hexicans is to reinforce the community, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was really cool there.
Yeah.
What else we got? Just covering some news that we've missed or that has been going on. So another cool site that has sprung up recently is hexstreamers.com.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty awesome. So the regular streamers, and check us out because we're live right now, are listed in here. They're in the API. So as people go live, if you stream before, you're kind of in the database on the website. So I mean, it's got everybody in here. It's got Johnny Chaos when he does his Twitch videos. It's got Funding Jim, Gifting You Hex. I mean, shout out to all these guys. Matty Allen, Hex Clips, Coffee, but Super Hex, Silver. So it's just a cool resource if you're looking for, I guess, who's up next or how long ago somebody streamed. HEXstreamers.com.
Do you know which Hexican manages that?
I can't pronounce the name. It starts with a T on Telegram.
Oh.
Nobody I know or recognize by the handle. Which, but yeah, Coffee directed me to him.
Oh.
What's up, Hextoshi? So yeah, that's that. So just wanted to get into a couple interesting, I guess, social items that I found during the week, and this was like a point of discussion. And I think now that we're wrapped with the conference, Richie, you can chime in because you maybe have seen some of this. I'm sure you'll have an opinion on it. Absolutely. So let's see. This comes from Trayvon. I think someone might know what I'm talking about here. So this had a lot of feedback, and I had my own take on it. I think pretty much everybody here did too, and many Hexicans did. But crypto influencers love tweeting out, which alts should I look at? What are some good alts? And then he's like, you're the influencer. Shouldn't you be telling us? So some of these responses were great. And it was just my opinion. I'll throw it over to you guys after I say this, but it's like, I think the reason it's done is just it's like or not clickbait, kind of shill bait, basically.
Engagement bait, yeah.
Engagement bait, sorry. Yeah, that's exactly the term I used there. It's cheap engagement bait, and basically they know if you have a large following, you're going to shield your coin, and then you're going to get all these mentions and responses, and it's just like, okay, I kind of see what you're doing there, but other people, I mean, Hexicans do it, we do it, I do it, and sure, it's like good to get your name out there, and I saw some deliberation going back and forth where it's good for Hex, it's bad for Hex if we're putting the name out there. So you got any takes on this, Rich? Did you see this thread or anything?
I did not. I didn't see the thread, but yeah, I agree. I think it's just like clickbait. They're just trying to get engagement. Whether I think it's good for Hex, I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know. I always can see like the whole picture of things, you know, like people are going to do it anyways. So, you know, you can't really stop them. And I think it does get the Hex name out there. So, I don't know. I say go for it.
Yeah, and if everybody's shilling their stuff, I mean, why not, you know, put yours out there? What was your take on that, Vince? I'm sure you responded to it.
Yeah, well, I think Trayvon actually made a really good point there, and I thought about it, and because it's something that I used to engage a lot in during the launch phase, but then I realized that it kind of has diminishing returns in a way, because one thing to also factor in is that like Twitter tailors everybody's viewing experience to kind of basically group people's posts of similar interest together. So basically, when a lot of people engage in posts like that, like for example, Hexicans will only see each other's Hexican posts like grouped up together, whereas people in the Bitcoin community, like if they say Bitcoin or people in the Ethereum community, if they respond to Ethereum, like their tweets will all get grouped together too. So they pretty much just live in their own little. It just builds up silos, and we're not like I don't really feel anymore that like it's helping to spread adoption as some other kind of tactics. So so based on that, I've been engaging less and replying less to those kind of tweets. So yeah, that's just my take on it.
Does it depend upon the influencer, maybe a little bit?
Maybe, but I know that Twitter just does that kind of thing in general, because like I noticed that when I try to shill Hex, sometimes I'll just kind of scroll through and see what other coins other people are mentioning, and a lot of times Twitter just automatically like groups our tweets together, and then everything else gets filtered at the bottom. But then I'm pretty sure the experience is different for other people that that aren't Hexicans. So
yeah, I've always wondered like if they could well, I mean, I guess when you hashtag Hex, I wonder if we get kept that way too,
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, people can always, I guess, put filtered on as well, and that have their own gatekeeping without the system being responsible.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the list, we're moving pretty quick, but I think we might slow down once we get into these rich tweets, if you will. Let's see here. All right, where are we at? So this kicked off like the little mini excitement slash firestorm. Earlier this week, I think it was Monday. So Richard tweeted out, Hex just got a whole lot more rare. There's only 105 million for sale on Uniswap. And that was a big, I guess, shock to the system, to say the least, being that I think there were, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, maybe over 500 million. They're kind of regularly, probably more. And it went down at the time of this tweet, it went down to 105. And earlier this week, I think maybe 2 days ago, it went all the way down to maybe like 55 million.
Really?
Yeah. And I checked a little bit ago. I think it was like back near 70. But yeah, I mean, no supply out there for, I don't know, the game's getting real now. And I think we can start to speculate here in a little bit as to why and what's going on, but I just have a tab open with the Hex price, and the volatility is just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, 5% moves within a second.
Yeah.
Because there's so much slippage on these orders. There was one order today, somebody sold millions of Hex and paid 14% slippage. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Holy shit. Wow.
So, yeah, what do you guys take on just the vanishing liquidity? Because you know, Richard's like, you really want more liquidity? I don't think you do. And this is an interesting little gateway into possibly what's ahead.
Yeah, I kind of expected this to happen. I talked about this way before BPD with a dollar cost. And I think there was somebody else there too, but yeah, I just had a feeling that they would pull it off like they're doing, and which would obviously, you know, make the price go up. So I've been kind of waiting for this to happen.
What you got, Vince?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Richard's always been talking about, you know, how it's easier to pump the price when liquidity is lower, and yeah, sometimes he uses that to kind of low key insult one of the copycats out there. So yeah, because one of their whole selling points is huge liquidity. So I think this is probably part of the always operation to kind of make a statement, and maybe we'll see his point play out if somebody does a huge buy order and we, you know, make brand new all-time highs. So
yeah, right now,
I'm hoping it'll play out.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, you're paying for slippage either way. So I mean, if you put in a big buy order, you're going to slip the price one way, and if these guys who are sellers, and you can tell just from their addresses on Etherscan, they have plenty to sell. Their mission is to sell, and I kind of think this is why this whole thing is taking place, and this is me being, you know, having some theory into it, not stating fact at all. But that could very well be, you know, some of the reason to clean out the system, I should say.
Yeah.
And clean these guys out, because at some point the price go up is pretty much the use case of Hex. I hate using that term, but that's why people own it. It's what it was designed to do, is to go up in price, produce, you know, trustless interest, and it's doing a great job of that so far. And what's needed for the long-term health of the product? Well, if you're having every single, you know, rip getting sold into by these liquid guys, it's just going to keep happening for a while. I mean, eventually, sure, they'll run out, but how long into the future when you want to, you know, see price movement? I'm not saying, you know, anybody in particular. I'm just saying we all, as Hexicans, want to see the price move, but it's like this is probably the quickest, most efficient way for an entity or entities to clean out the system, shake out any weak hands, put this hex into stronger hands. And I think that's what we're seeing in a very, I guess, sustained, orderly fashion. And maybe, you know, months from now, we'll look back and be like, oh man, that is actually what happened. And we could be looking at a whole different price just months from now if we ride through the storm. So, yeah, I don't want to get too far into my bullish thesis. I'll say that for the next tweet. But I'm pretty darn excited. What do you guys feel about, I guess, just price action? You know, say 3 months. What are you guys feeling? We kind of like hanging around here, grinding around? We gonna rip? We gonna just kind of dip down to half a penny? What do you got?
I'm gonna pull up my chart real quick. I've kind of just been like after we made that last new all-time high, I've kind of just been chilling and taking a break.
And I think that's healthy.
I think, I figured we'd have a nice pullback, and we did over 50%. So I mean, it could go any day now. Sorry, I'm looking at my chart right now. How many months did you say?
I was just saying like 3 months out. I know we have a lot of big stakes expiring over the next 2 months. I think mid and March are the biggest. I think there's like 1.5 billion maybe, at least. So that's like the biggest one, but I have another theory on that, but that's for next week. But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, Richie pulls that up. What do you see happening, man?
Oh man.
It's harder. It's harder and harder to say because of the liquidity.
Yeah, and the liquidity in the
Or
vault.
lack thereof.
Or yeah. My safe guess is I want to say 3 to 4 cents. I think
we're gonna get out of this by springtime and do a little rippage.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see 3 cents in the next couple months.
Yeah.
I've noticed that some people are keeping track of those the whales that are selling, and in general, it just looks like they're just running out of steam and that they don't have a lot of supply left to dump. So, time is on our side when it comes to that, I think. So, they're going to run out of reserves sooner or later, and then the next big buys after that, I think, will help us create a new price floor.
Yeah, there's already been a few big accounts that have been liquidated. I think one of them got liquidated on New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that was when it started hundreds of millions of hex. The one I've been watching lately, I mean, there's a few of them out there, but one of them has, I think, like 70 million hex. But you know, there's always going to be sellers. It's about that, but.
I think you might even be talking about the one whale who, remember, on New Year's Eve night, we kind of waked up to 2 cents and then back down.
Oh yeah.
That might have been that red candle, or the one that made us go back down.
Yeah, that was actually silver kind of dug into that. So yeah, there's a great video. I forgot about that. There's tons of, well, not tons, but I'd say a group of accounts out there that remain liquid. One of the guys he still has some stakes, but he's got some liquid there that he's kind of been regularly dumping. I'm really not worried at all. In fact, I'm growing more bullish the longer we hold down at or below a penny or just right above it. It's feeling good, and I'll explain that in a bit. Do you have a chance to look at any more TA there, Rich?
I don't know how much TA it was. It was just kind of.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you were done your take on that yet or not. So.
Oh, I just mean like I don't know. I kind of agree with what Vince said. I mean, I could see us going up to 3 cents. But it's hard to tell, like I said, with the liquidity, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting game. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure all of us have pretty long stakes. You guys are in a 555 club, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, my time horizon is just it's long. So after big payday, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I had quite a bit come out at big payday, if I could talk. And I ended up restaking most of it. I took a little bit of profit, but I ended up restaking everything out, and I'm not staking anything less than like 5 years at this point. So 5 to 15 years is pretty much what my staking ladder looks like now. So like I said, I kind of been taking a break from, just kind of Twitter in general, just the whole thing, just kind of been resetting and letting the price do what it's going to do. And I don't know. I think I have, well, I guess I shouldn't say too much, but I definitely have some stakes coming out pretty soon, I guess. But I'll probably, if the price isn't right, then I'm just going to restake them.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Right there is if the price isn't right, you can just restake it, and you don't have to worry about it. It's not like, oh well, my stake came due and I got to sell now. That's just part of the game theory of the whole product, which is great, and I love it.
Yeah, I've restaked almost everything that I've had come out so far. I've been restaking. Like I said, I took a little bit of profit, but I've been living off of crypto for I don't know, 6-8 months. I've had a couple different jobs, but nothing substantial. So
what other crypto, or mainly HEX or other coins?
Yeah, so I have HEX and Ethereum, and then I have some privacy coins too, but it's not really.
Did you buy the COVID dip?
Which one? You talking about?
Yeah, Mark. Well, yeah, not HEX. HEX was actually, I think, outperforming at that time. But yeah, ETH.
Yeah.
The whole market went down. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, everything.
Yeah, I picked up some at like $90 and $100.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing crypto for a while now, and I finally got in the position of doing the opposite of what everybody thinks to do. So anytime that there's a dip, I'm buying. Anytime that there's a pump, I'm usually selling into it. So once I stopped chasing pumps and started buying dips and selling into pumps instead of trying to buy the pumps,
yep.
That was a game changer for me. And that's kind of how I loosely say trade. I don't really trade that much anymore, but I definitely do buy.
You swing it.
Yeah, I definitely do buy and sell. I was buying like I don't know, like a month ago, and I've already done like a 3 or 4x on what I was buying like a month ago. So, I try not to overtrade, but I definitely do. I like to buy dips, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I came up in traditional market, which is a lot slower going than crypto, relatively, and got into crypto. I don't want to go through my whole story, but kind of near the peak of Bitcoin. I didn't really get like into it with my finances, but my interest came in, and I just learned about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I was like, okay, it feels really frothy here. And to your point, Rich, it's like if you can be patient and wait for some of those dips, it's way easier and less stress than trading and trying to time the market. It's you can, if you save powder, dry powder, and you are patient, those dips will come. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, and say the stock market has gone up kind of in a straight line for a decade, but there have been huge dips in there as well. and even crypto. I mean, Bitcoin went up to what, 14K before it dipped all the way down to 3K again, or excuse me, 4K. So you had a second chance to get in, and I got in the first bottom. I think it was December 18th. Is that the first Bitcoin bottom? Where kind of like ground around like 3,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
And last year I was patient, and that COVID dip happened, and I got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and it position entry helps you so much with managing your investments, because if you're patient enough to wait for those good entries, that you don't have to be watching the screen all the time. This is if you're wanting to flip or something like that, which I don't advocate anymore, especially because we're all Hexicans now. I'm doing less and less trading. I don't even trade anymore. I don't even know the last time I traded. Maybe it was like early last year, before that last COVID dip. But even then, I wasn't like watching the screen all day. On our, I guess, year in review stream, I asked the panel, so like Hexo was there, and I think Big Kirk and some other guys. I was like, well, has Hex improved your life in any way? And that was my number one reason for me. It was like, it's just a time saver. I don't have to, do all this reading on these up and coming projects or watch these videos on these projects looking for like the next big thing. When Hex is completed, triple audited, it earns me interest, and I feel great about it. And it's such a time saver.
Yeah, it's like, what more do you want from a coin, honestly? It's changed my life too. I mean, I was day trading, where so I was trading a lot back before Hex came out, and now I don't have to, and like my life is so much less stressful. Just buy it, lock it up, and I keep a little bit liquid, like I said, because I've been living off of it, so I keep a little bit liquid and kind of buy and sell here and there. But overall, I mean, not having to get liquidated is really nice. Get those liquidation notifications, and they can hurt.
Oh, have you ever leveraged, I guess?
Oh yeah. I was. Yes, I have. I don't recommend.
The liquidations weren't for stop orders; they were over leveraged.
Say that again.
When you say liquidated, they weren't for like stop loss orders. They were margin positions.
Yeah, margin positions, exactly. Yeah, it takes a long time to learn how to trade. I mean, it's expensive and painful, but I know enough now to where I don't want to be living a life like that. So Hex is amazing.
Our community is amazing too. Benny Blanco is grocery shopping. And what's up, boys? I'm out grocery shopping. Y'all need anything? Appreciate it, man. So Hex is everywhere, even in grocery stores. How about you, Vince? You weren't on that panel that I brought up with just Hex improving lives. That question. Do you have an instance, or can you point to something, or maybe multiple things of how it's improved?
Well, I hadn't done much trading ever since I got into crypto, but I have done a fair amount, and I've gotten some liquidation notices myself, so I know the drill, and Hex has improved my life a lot there, where I don't have to stress over just trading, looking at charts and stuff, and now I look at the Hex chart just purely for leisure and speculation, and just trying to get good entries so I can buy more. So it's really simplified my life there. And just in general, I guess I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I guess the community itself, just like just being a part of the community and watching it grow like that, that's positively affected my life too. Because I think before, in other crypto communities, it was just kind of it just couldn't really get any deep friendships and connections out of it. It's just kind of like, it kind of felt like every man for themselves, like even within a specific coin community. So but it's nice that everybody just kind of helps each other out here, and we just kind of view each other as one big family. So,
yeah, the bigger it gets, it's like it's self-reinforcing at a point, and it's like you meet. Well, there's so many people in the community's grown so much that you meet people with different interests, different commonalities, and you can talk to one person about this thing because you share that, and you talk to somebody else about this. I mean, Vince and I get along with humor, and we'll send some funny bits back and forth on Telegram, and we're here with that. Like the Colin Jost, Michael Che thing was just hilarious.
Oh yeah,
pull that up. I mean, just little stuff like that, and it's that, and Joe Hexotic is just a great guy, just such a wonderful addition to the community. Maddie, I mean, and just shout outs to them right now just for putting on awesome 4-day event last week. I mean, Maddie, I guess, with hosting duties, and Joe Hexotic with managing the green room. He was there every night. I tried to stop by as much as I could to say hello, and he was just getting everybody prepared with their mic and camera set up, just making sure that everybody was as consistent as could be, and it just makes the whole community look better. And so just a big thank you for that, because that entire event was assembled virtually, and it actually came out pretty darn good for not being an in-person conference with high-tech video production or anything like that. It was just a wonderful first event for HEX, as good as it could have been done virtually. So shout out to those guys. But back to the point about community, there's so many cool Hexicans, cool stories that we don't even know yet. So many people I want to meet in person. I want to hang both of you guys. Richie, I know, is a connoisseur of sorts. So I am good buddies with a couple of connoisseurs, and I can't say I'm like huge into it, but just the science behind it, I'm kind of fascinated with, and just like that's just cool stuff there.
Yeah, definitely. If you ever make it out here, hit me up.
Yeah, we're going into the woods with a bear gun, right?
Exactly. Where are you? Are you in where do you?
I'm like Maryland. Yeah.
Maryland. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you lived at the beach or something like that.
Well, Maryland's got a beach, so.
Oh, okay. I've been to most of the states, but I don't think I've been to Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. I'm between Maryland and Florida regularly, so.
Okay, cool.
That's where most of my beachiness comes. But I mean, I love Virginia. Virginia Beach is awesome. Carolina beaches are great. Delaware too. That's right across the line. There, east, and Motley's like just south of me or towards me, something like that. So we got like a small group of Hex East here. But it's interesting, like the pockets. So I think Vince is part of Hex West with R3 and
Hex SoCal.
Hex SoCal.
Yeah.
Get rid of that state, man. You need to go to Hex SoCal. Then we got like, I guess, a Midwest chapter with Richie and Hexa. We got like a few from Idaho, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah, I think a bunch of people are over there. Yeah.
So I mean, we're all over, and then we have kind of like a eastern mid, or maybe we'll call it central.
Central,
yeah. I think like Coffee's in there.
Coffee, Johnny Chaos.
Johnny Chaos is another one.
Grandma, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool when seeing stuff like that. Florida, I know Pep and I are trying to get together next time I'm down there. He's in, the Gulf Coast, and I think Big Kirk is there. I don't know where are you at, Kirk? Come on, you're supposed to be on the stream tonight. Who else? I think Funding Jim might be down there too. So yeah, we are all over the map. It's awesome, and like I said, the community is just growing and growing and growing. So it's like I've had the pleasure or fortune of being asked on some of these streams, like Maddie's and Joe's and Funding Jim's, and I haven't done it yet by choice because I've got like a new setup in here, but I'm working out some technical issues. But just having those conversations, I'm really looking forward to. Just like Fridays, just shooting the breeze and talking about the week's events with you guys, and the community is just awesome. Like you cannot beat it. Yeah, we got Florida check in. What's up, Chris J? So, all right. So my last item on the list here is another tweet, and this could be, I guess, the most exciting one in my opinion, in one's opinion. So, and this was quite recently, as a matter of fact, Wednesday. So Richard tweeted out, and I think this has a huge bearing on the near term, I guess I won't just say price of HEX, but trajectory of the product. So I'll just get right to it. So what if a liquidity provider on Uniswap like ETH USDC remove their liquidity? They'd have ETH and USDC in their wallet. Now, what if they placed all their USDC in bids at the limit tab on one HEXchange? Result, you'd have buy support without sell pressure. So that just brought up a whole, I don't know. It was just, as some dude says right here, this is genius. But and what's up, some dude? See you on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
But yeah, it goes on, and the vast majority of liquidity in any normal market is not sitting in an order book. How many houses could be sold versus being sold? How many Bitcoin could be sold versus are being sold? And the same goes for dollars. How many dollars could be deployed for those things? And that whole thing right there just brings up such an interesting point, in my opinion, and it's opened up just some awesome discussion. Johnny Chaos has been all over it, and he and I share a lot of the same view. And I think he was, when this first broke, maybe it was like 2 days ago, I saw his video, and he was like, this could be your last chance. It's probably your last chance for HEX at a penny. And while I kind of agree we could be at a near-term floor, or long-term floor, actually, I mean, we're bouncing right around, up and down, within a little bit of that penny mark. It is just exciting for me to think what could be going on if I were some whales, or if I were a whale, for how I wanted to see the long-term supply of HEX to play out. Don't know if you tossed any of this around, Vince, but you got any take on this recent these recent tweets by Richard? Especially this one.
You want to go first, Richie?
No, go for it.
To be honest, this one I couldn't really fully wrap my head around the implications of this. So, but from what I can gather, I do think it just kind of, to me, like it just makes it creates a sort of like artificial safety net at around where we're at. So, it just makes it so that I don't think we'll ever really stay under a penny for very long.
Yeah. And the strange thing about it is while you say it's a safety net, and I totally get what you're saying there, it's also kind of a net made of bungee material, because the volatility that is happening now, the price swings are big, but we're staying right around that penny mark, and that's what's so interesting to me is we haven't just blown out the bottom and fall, because I do think there's plenty of bid support there on 1 inch, and it's not like as far as I can understand, you can't really see the bids, I think, until maybe after the transaction happens.
That happened, yeah. It kind of maybe it sort of reminds me of a trampoline net.
Yeah,
that's basically what it is.
But we might be around here for a while, and I guess that's what gets into maybe my theory. Maybe you guys can chime in after this, but it's liquidity versus supply, and I think all the bearish arguments are, oh my gosh, the liquidity has been taken away. It's just going to take some big sell orders, and HEX is tanking. Well, okay, but if you have, say, a bunch of USDC, as casually mentioned in this, one of these tweets here, acting as bid support on an exchange, sure, price is going to go down because we're talking across Uniswap, 1 inch, whatever. But if that supply is getting soaked up, I could not be more bullish if that is what is happening. So if there is a large entities out there with bid support, with the long-term view of HEX in mind, and they're slowly over days, maybe it'll take weeks, soaking up all of this weekend excess supply. People they're tired of holding it. They think it's stuck at a penny. They're getting rid of it. Meanwhile, Richie was, said earlier, hey man, I'm staked mostly 5-15 years. What do I care? What do I care? Most of my stakes are years and on down to 15. I think, Vince, you're probably the same way. I mean, what do we care? Yeah. What do most of the hardcore Hexicans care is happening over the next few weeks, maybe month or two? The other really interesting thing to think about here, and again, this is all my theory, and no concrete evidence. I don't know anything, but trying to put all the pieces together and maybe do some fun math here, or not really fun math, but fun guessing. So we know there are some big players at play. So say there is a whale or whales with this huge bid support. Well, we're going to have people selling no matter what. But I think anybody with some, I guess, familiarity with HEX, the HEX supply, the end stakes, knowing that there's like 1.5 billion just I think on one day, or within a couple days in March coming due. I mean, you look at the staking ladder, and that thing is like it's a wall. But after that wall, it's like clear sailing.
Free and clear, yeah.
What if they are multiple whales or one whale, and that wall is kind of like a cell block, or trying to shake everybody out, thinking, oh my gosh, what if that guy just dumps that 1.5 billion on the market? All the while, people might be holding off their buys, not hardcore Hexicans. I see them every day on Twitter, buying a little more each day. But what if that just if you're in or you're out, kind of, and it's kind of possibly forcing a decision from some that are liquid, or maybe some that have stakes that are expiring. And if they get out, there's an entity there or a whale with a long-term goal in mind. Who knows what they do with the HEX, but if they don't touch it, if it's locked away, that's supply off the market. And the more supply off the market, the more supply in strong hands, the stronger HEX gets. And I like going back and thinking about that tweet about the De Beers diamonds that Richard tweeted maybe in November about large entities controlling the supply and trying to put all those pieces together. And it's, you can't help but think about it. At least I can't. And if that all lines up, or there's a lot of tie-ins, maybe I don't have it 100% correct. I'm sure I don't. But if just 75% of that is all intertwined somehow and related for the long-term price and performance of HEX, I cannot be more bullish. I'm probably more bullish now than I was before the big payday run. And I know price was cheaper, but we also weren't possibly seeing a lot of this supply coming out of the market, going into stronger hands. We all know Hexicans have strong hands, so that supply is not going anywhere. All the true Hexicans will honor their stakes, I would think, unless something happens, which hey, stuff happens. You need to emergency in stake a little bit, whatever. But in the grand scheme of things, I could not be more bullish if this is the situation that is actually taking place, and that's what we're witnessing right now. So, what say you?
So, what was that?
What say you guys?
Oh, so the only thing that I can think of that would maybe, I don't know. I mean, so I just hope that it doesn't prevent other big players from coming in because there's not a lot of liquidity. Because people with, with big wallets, they want to buy big and they also want to sell big. So I just hope that this doesn't kind of like backfire and shy some people off that would want to come and dump $1 million into the project, whatever, or a couple million. If they get the sense of like there may not be a way to get my money back out of it, if the liquidity is drying up and somebody that's holding a lot of, or most of the liquidity is threatening to take it away, I could see it possibly scaring away bigger whales.
Excellent point. What you got, Vince?
Yeah, I think I think the how do I put this? I pretty much agree with everything you said, and the supply shock.
Which said or
what you said, Grant. Yeah, and both of you, but the supply shock is going to be really huge. One of the things that this reminded me of was I think last night. Do you guys know the guy that goes by Dip Catcher or Tanto on Twitter? He he had a live stream. I think it was just last night, and he basically just talked about how he put out a graph, and he was basically considering the effect of the big payday supply, and when those come out on particular stakes throughout the first 15-year cycle, and basically he projects that when more of the big payday bonus for people's stakes are coming due in a certain year, we'll probably see like a bear market or like a dip in the HEX price, and then the opposite for when there's not so much big payday supply coming out in another year. So it's going to be interesting to see people play around that too, in addition to this kind of safety net that we have here. So
yeah, the really interesting point Rich brought up there is what if big players still want to get in, and like man, that's such a good point. So I'm trying to think of both sides of it. So Hex has been, I guess, in development for years technically, or was for years before the launch. So it launched, so say 14 months in. So you've had 14 months, not including before launch phase, to get in. So one view could be Rich's, where it's like, okay, well, what if other people want to get in? It's going to be tougher if you have to pay all that slippage, or it's like finally at a point where it's like, okay, well, you're in or you're out, because this thing's been going on for 14 months, and there have been a lot of big buys in there, and from whales, and oh my gosh, man, you just for a second think about the ETH, one of those ETH whale gods who bought, I think he had like 70 million in ETH, $70 million worth in ETH. And that was when ETH was, I think, sub 500. So he's probably sitting on 180 million. I mean, just the possibilities are endless. And when Richard Hart says there's so much money out there in crypto, that's exactly what he means. And I think that's another benefit of the overall market going up. So you have, guys with these huge Bitcoin bags, and if Hex is hanging around here at a penny, and you have somebody that has hundreds or thousands of Bitcoin worth millions and millions of dollars, you have some fun money there to play with as well. So it's like, oh, well, what's that shiny object over there that was the best performing asset of last year, since I saw it in the London paper yesterday or whatever that publication was? That was awesome. But there's a lot to think about there.
Yeah, that's why I just said I hope that by him posting all this stuff that it doesn't kind of like backfire on people that that maybe they don't want to push the price up with $1 million buy order, send it to the moon and then fall back down like it did on that last 2-cent candle. I mean, that got sold almost immediately. I was like watching it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, Rich, but Silver the Antidote did a great video on that event. And it was kind of interesting as to it could have been the same player or a similar entity involved in those transactions. So it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and he actually, it's tough because he has a whole spreadsheet, and it's timed out on New Year's Eve. So it's by trade, I think, or by a big trade. And I think you can probably just fast forward it if you don't want to watch the whole thing, to where it's that big buy and sell. You can clearly see it on the screen there. And he goes into that with some detail. It's really interesting.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's mentioned. It's interesting that you mentioned that that 1.3 billion wall, because
is that what it is? 1.3.
Yeah, I think 1.3 billion or whatever. The stake wall coming due in March.
Yep. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, it's just because I don't know how many whales actually know about that. So I'm wondering if the price is stagnating right now because people are afraid to buy now and then have that entity sell into them or not. Yeah, it's just a matter of, I guess, if people are aware of kind of like Hex.vision and the tools where they can, kind of see the sort of state of the ecosystem and kind of time their entries. It's interesting to speculate on how much people know, I guess, and how to fix their decisions to come in and buy Hex. Because one of my concerns actually about the liquidity is that some whales that might be interested in coming in probably see the low liquidity and they just they don't want that much slippage against themselves when they're buying. So yeah, that's kind of one thing I've been thinking about too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
So, the big boys, when they want to come play, or girls too, they're going to see the liquidity and they're not going to be happy about that.
All right, so
there we go. Yeah,
you can see the wall, if you will, kind of like to the right of the screen, right here. So that's 1.43 billion that day. Obviously, it's not just one person. There's going to be other people with some stake in that day. But yeah, it is interesting. Let me just zoom in here a little bit more. Yeah, so it's also interesting how you have these short-term stakers, and it's kind of just like a rolling wave. So these short-term stakers, they'll stake for 7 days, 14 days, and then they'll just roll it over. So this wave, this here will probably get taller, and it'll just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. The decision point is probably going to be right in here.
Yeah.
For what some of these guys do, maybe even here as well. But yeah, it's and again, it's just a theory of mine. But what if that wall is a bluff, and it's like, okay, well, once we're past that, what if this 1.43 billion doesn't get sold, or a lot of it doesn't get sold. What if most of that gets turned right over into another stake? It gets rolled into future stakes.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might not even matter because the entity might just end up restaking it for 15 years or whatever. So
yeah, and if I were a whale, and if I were into this project that much and knew so much about it and planned it out, I mean, when you think about it as a long-term strategy, I mean that stake has been there for a while. That's nothing that just cropped up. So
yeah.
And what's the date on that?
I think it's March 15th. Let me get it here.
Of this year?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we have another one. It was like late February the 26th. We got close to $1 billion. Next big one is close to $1 billion here. And we have $500 million, but yeah, close to $1 billion. And what date is that? That's the 2nd of February. Closer to $1 billion, 26th of February, and 1.43 billion on March 15th. So it's such an exciting time to be ahead, and it's great because most of us are staked out, so really the short-term stuff doesn't matter. So it's kind of like, we get to sit back and grab popcorn, but at the same time, with our long-term view, we could be witnessing the foundation for the product for years to come. If this is a supply window, there's a large entity out there accumulating, which I would theorize there is. And there's a sell wall there, mid-March, and as much liquid gets into hands that are stronger, I don't care who it is. If it's a whale, maybe someone would speculate it's the OA. Who cares? That's supply off the market. There's less coins that any other trader can sell into, and that just strengthens the hands of every long-term holder. So that's so exciting to me, and that's why I'm pretty much the most bullish I've ever been right now. If what I'm thinking is true, can't prove it, obviously. But,
I'm like super excited to see what's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 year range, because everybody that I've onboarded, I've got them to lock up. I mean, this might be controversial, whatever, but I do tell, my friends, whatever. I just tell them what I do, which is I keep around 5 to 10% liquid, and then I have everything else staked out. So I'm really interested to see what the supply is actually going to be, 3 to 5 years from now, and what that was going to do to the price. Because like I said, most everybody is locking it up. The people, the users like us are, we're not just buying and selling like these whales are. I mean, most of the people that are actually using the ecosystem are actually locking it up. So, my brain goes to what's going to happen in 3 to 5 years when, the OA is clearly not dumping on our heads, which is nice. And then, most of us are all locked up. So I think the supply is just going to get, less and less, So that should also really increase the price.
Yeah, just going through some comments here. So Lights Out's like, low liquidity is scaring the whales at the moment. So kind of what Richie was saying, but that's probably what the OA wants. He wants the small guys to benefit. So I'd like that take. I'd be really cool with that if that's the case. The only problem with that is I see that people are missing the opportunity to snap up really good prices, but I guess get used to it because OA has shown they will be active in the market. I think all the small guys are benefiting from this. Lucky to get 2 more buys in under a penny, which is right where we're at right now.
Nice.
00998. or depending upon where you look at. So yeah, I had this one up while Richie was talking. Didn't want to cover him up there, but Silver thinks the big whale is going to buy more when he unstakes to fake out people trying to front run on the selling.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that could be argued that could be what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With, say, all that USDC or something like that.
Yeah, it could be just a scare tactic to get some of us to try to FUD out and they take some of our supply.
The fact that it ends on March 15th makes me think they have a diabolical plan, but we shall see. All right, so cool. I don't know. Anything else going on in crypto? Richie, you, I think you said you were in ETH and HEX. You own anything else right now?
I have some privacy coins, but nothing substantial. You know, I just kind of just play around with those. But you know, back when the snapshot happened, I converted everything. I've had over 75 crypto coins at one time, and I converted everything into BTC for the snapshot, and then traded all that for ETH and essentially HEX. So my portfolio is like 90-something% HEX.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. That's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I converted everything to BTC for the snapshot. Got the snapshot, and I'm like, especially most of it was ETH. So I was like, watch, you know, I'm gonna do this for the snapshot, and then ETH's gonna take off, and I'm gonna get screwed. Somehow, by some luck, like ETH actually went down a little bit, and I actually made money on that swap, if you will. So
yeah, that last year was a good year.
Yeah,
for a lot of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much just HEX, and my life is simple now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got like some picks that I researched before I just got more and more bullish on HEX. I mean, I still like Link. I still like Aave, which are just, well, Aave is just face ripped. It's gone from like 30 to 140 or something like that. Link's about ready to break out too. What else is out there? I like Ocean, Ethereum, but I mean, how can you beat HEX right now? It's just for the long-term play, and that's kind of why I did my brief HEX talk on at the conference. It's like, okay, well, if Bitcoin, what's the target? Like some targets are like $250,000 this run. Well, that's like what, a 7x from where it is now. So okay, well, you can have your money in Bitcoin and get a 7x if it achieves that fully bullish $250,000 target. Or you got HEX. It's designed to do 40 plus X from here, maybe 50. Yeah, 50X now.
Yeah, 50X.
More than 50X. And that's not including your interest. So it's like, what do you...
Yeah, the interest is crazy. I mean, some of my stakes are getting like 60-70% interest. And it's just like, I don't know. Every time I start doing moon math, like I have like this Excel spreadsheet that I created that calculates, because I have multiple accounts. So I like input all the information, and then it like tells me like what my payout is for the next like, increments of 5, 10, 15 years, and like at current price and stuff like that. And it's mind blowing, honestly. It's like, just to think of, even if the price doesn't go up, I mean, the interest is so crazy. It's like, it's a win-win in my opinion. And then the more people that I show, and some of my personal friends, I let them see my accounts and stuff like that. And pretty much once they see my accounts, they're just like, how do I get in? So I'm still onboarding people. I onboarded somebody last week, and I've got somebody else that wants to get on too. So I think that the community is still growing. I was a little unsure about what was going to happen after Big Payday, but I couldn't be happier with the way it happened. And I mean, I knew there was going to be a dip, so I saved some powder, and I've been buying the whole time. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, and where it takes me. I mean, it's already pretty much changed my life. So I'm excited to see what else is going to happen. I know people like Vince over here. He's got some big plans to save some animals and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be a lot of cool, things that happen with some of us that are making some money.
I can't wait for it. And that's not just like talking about gains, but like we're saying, Rich, like doing good with it. And I can't wait to do that. I got a lot in mind. It's like fun to think about. It's like, I want to get to that point to where that's kind of like my job in a sense. Is like, what can I do to help something somewhere, or how can I be of benefit? And to think about just getting to that point is exciting, but then to be like, okay, well, I've got some interest now, potentially a lot of interest, and you're living off of that. You have time to think about that stuff, and what could be a better kind of dividend on top of the interest than to making the world a better place.
Yeah, exactly.
I came in to judge the joke off here. Hold on.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, this guy.
Sorry, y'all.
Right on time, bro.
All right. I'm glad to make it. Yeah, I was juggling a baby, making some dinner, doing a whole bunch of shit that just all came up, and then I was like, oh fuck. So my bad, y'all. My bad. Right. Relief came, and I handed it up baby off, and now here we are. So sorry to pop in a little later again.
Okay, man.
It's all good, man. We got like 18 minutes left, so before Brand says, "Hey, Big K."
What's up, Brad? How you doing, brother? How's everybody?
Yeah, I don't know what you caught there, Kirk, but we were just talking about our last topic was the ETH USDC liquidity removal on Uniswap, and then USDC, on 1 inch, kind of possibly the theories behind that. And I'm sure you got a little bit to say. Theory or two.
Man, I have some, like, it's a constantly evolving theory, like I had a theory, and then you watch the charts a little more and you read some more and think some more, and it's like, it's changing, it's changing. But like, I'm cool with it. What I'm sure that what was touched on is the idea that, Richard's touched on this somewhat before, that like a product, like you can charge whatever you want for a product especially if you have all the buying power. So like if Hex became, there became buy walls at a penny, and then at random intervals along its trajectory, there's now a buy wall at 2-3 cents, wherever we're at, and now there's a buy wall at 5 cents, and it just becomes a point where like Hex wouldn't fall, like you can't get your hands on it for much of a discount, whatever the price is might be the price, which is fair, again, you can think what Richard just talked about is that like Coca-Cola has every right to sell Coke at $100 a bottle, if they wanted to, it wouldn't be good for the market or their profit line or anything else, but like they have the opportunity, like they have the option to, and like somebody, the origin address or whoever that has control of most of the marketplace, and giant bags of Ethereum as well, has the opportunity if they want to, the ability to, put the price at whatever they'd like it to be, and keep it there. And that's fantastic. You can't really hope for anything. It does two different things on each side of it. On the one side, you have like this constant absorption of like, oh, you thought that the origin address and the whales, like after the adoption amplifier was over, that they're gonna like not continue to just soak up coins. You're incorrect. They will continue to soak up coins. And they will continue to soak up coins and continue to, every time someone's penalized, every time people sell and they hit those buy walls, the option for those coins at that lower price, will become very, it just won't be there, So I'm totally cool with it. You know, like I'd love to see the spreadsheet on the time chart on what somebody's worked out as to what they think of the best time chart and, you know, and price points would be, you know, that would be cool to see. But, you know, whatever the African priest is doing and in the Tibetan monk in place that they exist, I'm thinking it's cool. I'm fine with it. I like it. It makes you can literally see the moment that, like, not the moment, but like almost the exact like hourly chart candlestick where liquidity was mostly pulled because of how volatile like the candlesticks become. Like,
yep,
you know, they become much more volatile.
Like some guy sold millions and paid 14% slippage. Just like, come on, man.
I mean, here's the thing though, is like put yourself in someone's shoes that doesn't believe the same way, like, you know, that we like understand that the benefit of, like, we understand the business side of this. They are like any change in anything is going to frighten someone because they're going to put whatever narrative on top of that action that's going to be like, oh, this is a bad action. There's always people that believe for every good act, like when somebody's like, no, I'm just trying to help puppy dogs here, and they're like, yeah, but you're being you're against cats or whatever. You're like, whoa, man, I'm not. It doesn't have to be so binary like that, you know, but people think of things like that regularly. So like I expect that people will see the liquidity poll as like, oh, just another reason why Hex sucks. And you're like, well, actually it's another reason why it's kick ass. And it's giving the people that do want to get out have like almost at this point in time, somewhere near, you know, a guaranteed zone that they should be able to find their way out, you know, at this point in time. You know, that's, you know, maybe not a guaranteed one, but like, you know, if you see these orders executing now, I guess from the way 1inch works, you can't actually, it's not like a order book where you can see them existing, you know, until they get executed, right? They're essentially like iceberg orders, you know, you can't actually, I mean, not even, they're like hidden iceberg orders because you don't even know that they're there unless somebody like tweets about that or something, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. But Richie brought up a great point. On the other side, it's like, okay, well, what about somebody, a big entity that would like to get in right now? You were talking about getting out and, you know, somebody, you know, finding their way out. But what if there's like millions of dollars that want to come in? Would they be scared by the lack of liquidity and paying that much?
Well, I don't think that whale over-the-counter groups existed in Bitcoin in the first 2-3 years of its existence. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't think that there was an over-the-counter trading desk that existed anywhere for. I mean, I guess right out the gate it was all over the counter. You know, as just person to person. You know, but like but not too long after that, like like the over-the-counter trading sort of thing is like for large entities didn't really exist. That's why Mt. Gox had to, you know, even be created, is because somebody wanted lots of Bitcoin and you just couldn't get it. There was like, I want 100,000 Bitcoin. You're like, bitch, good luck. You know, like just like, well, you're gonna have to mine it 50 at a time that you might get every 10 minutes, and you're competing over that. And like, you know, that's again Richard's, you know, like that, like he looks at things in a different way than like nerds look at, you know, than some nerds look at things, because like they look at this like emission curve as being fair, and you know, and Richard looks at it like, no, this is a marketing thing. You know, you get people to get a little bit, and then they actually have to go out, meet other Bitcoiners, create a network. That's how like part of the original, you know, social network of Bitcoin was created, was through people Laszlo reaching out to get those pizzas. You know, like that social, you know, equity was created and because of the need for that kind of stuff. You know, so like I think that eventually there will be a need for people to, if this continues, then I would expect that somebody that if Hex does have more viral moments, that entities that are out there, you know, might be willing to reach out to people that, you know, to find over the counter sources of Hex. Whether, I mean, obviously there is a group that's an OTC group, but like I'm in it, like I've been paying attention to it. It's mostly dead. It's been mostly dead since the start, but that's because like, I mean, up until now, you can get Hex. Everybody could get Hex as much as you want, plentifully. Fill your bags. Everyone's cup overfloweth. And like that's great. And then now once that's over, now you're gonna have, like, if you really want 50 million Hex, you're gonna have to go through some back channels to fucking find it, man. Like it's not just not just sitting on Uniswap for everybody to have. I mean, it's there, but enjoy that slippage. Like that's. I mean.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying, though, is that I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to think outside the box and think that, like, if I was going to come in and I wanted to dump $1 million, it would be hard to do that. It'd be hard to do that, and I just hope that doesn't hurt. Hope that doesn't hurt.
I understand that argument too. That it could hurt. It could push out people that And again, it depends on who you're really talking. Like, who of that people are we trying to market to right now? Right now, you're really still trying to, like, the whales that you're trying to harpoon, are really the ones that are like willing to take a risk, willing to build from the ground up, understand value in its raw form, because like the people that are gonna FOMO in hard at a later point in time are just looking for easy fucking answers. They need a staker app. They need simplicity and then some, So like right now, you're like the people, like you have like opportunity, and because of several different reasons in Hex, because of the gatekeeping, because of the fact that all the pieces of the puzzle. I mean, there's elements of it that reminds me of like ETH early on. I mean, I remember buying some Ethereum at like $4 or $5 in Ethereum and being like, this shit sucks. Like, this shit is hard to fucking use. Ether, what? This gas bullshit. Now I have less, and I just like moved it around. What the fuck? Like, I was agitated by a lot of this. The ecosystem just wasn't there, and like I can remember like CryptoKitties first coming out and being like, oh, look at this is terrible, but like I see what they can do now. There's something fucking here, that is it's come a long way, and I imagine Hex is going to take similar roadmap too in like non-existent roadmap, but like whatever as evolution of it as the sense that like it will be super easy for people to get on board, and that OTC group will eventually pop off, and there might be actually somewhere at some point in time somebody that is considers like some sort of staking pool that like I know it's been tried before. That stuff might be something for way down the line that we haven't even that like we're not the ecosystem's really not ready for yet. Now I don't know though. I don't know. That's all just speculation. It's not like my guess based on what's happened before. Like things get better over time. If people keep investing time and energy and effort into the system, it'll get better and easier. And like there'll be more ways for people to get in and out. And again, like I said, the easier class of people that want like either simplicity or guarantees or some sort of like, hey, this is like guarantee, like there's no guarantees in crypto, but like there at least some sort of history. There's 5 years of Hex doing X and Y at these points in time. Okay, cool. I think it's good to invest in. I think at that point in time, you'll see a lot more heavy duty money coming in. And like right now, it's mostly investors that like are willing to take the risk.
Well said. Well said. What time is Hexo on? Is he quarter of or 20 of?
Yeah, I think he starts in 6 minutes.
Is that the intro though?
Yeah, the intro starts like 5 before, so 6:35, and then or wherever everybody's at, and then he usually starts at 6:40.
Oh, okay. Well, crap. All right. Well, we usually wrap things up with a joke off, so let's keep it consistent. Richie and Kirk, would you mind being judges?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't been exposed to a happy hour joke off, this is where Vince and I joke each other off. Some terrible dad jokes. Some better than others, and we'll see who laughs. It's usually best of 7. That's what we'll do today. End it on a fun note, and we'll throw it over to Hexo. But yeah, man, let's get into it there, Vince. I think if I remember correctly, I'm reigning champion, so do the honors and go ahead.
All right. Hey, Cabana.
Hey, Vince.
What's an astronaut's favorite part of the keyboard?
I don't know.
The space bar.
Am I allowed to laugh?
You guys can laugh.
You are totally allowed to laugh.
Okay.
It gets harder and harder as it goes, so I try to keep my composure at the beginning.
It definitely is going to be harder if the two of us are cackling over here too.
I'll try to be quiet.
No, you guys can go right ahead. Yeah, it's Vince and I got to worry about laughing. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
Why were the police called to the local daycare?
I don't know why.
Kirk's kid was resisting arrest. Yeah.
Oh, you can hear it. Yeah, oh, for sure.
Was that the actual joke?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I made it up on the fly with the kid talking.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you.
Hey, Cabana.
Hey, Vince.
Did you hear about the guy who invented the knock-knock joke?
No.
He won the Nobel Prize.
Ah. Yeah, that's good. Good, man. Good. Okay. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
Do you know why we never see Big Kirk and Richie Rich argue?
I don't know. Why?
They always take the high road.
Good one. Time for some math jokes.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Cabana.
Hey, Vince.
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9.
I was prepared for that. I mentally prepared for that.
This is a two-parter, though. Why did 7 eat 9?
This I don't know.
Because you're supposed to eat 3 squared meals a day.
That's a thinker. Yeah. All right. Getting tougher. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
What do you call a reptile who can't show the colors?
I don't know.
A reptile dysfunction.
That's a point.
Good one. That's good. Hey, Cabana.
Hey, Vince.
Why does nobody talk to circles?
Why?
Because there's no point.
Ooh. Holding it together. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
How do fish get stoned?
I don't know. How do fish get stoned?
From seaweed. Oh,
man.
All right. I have a couple of those jokes in for our guest today.
Yeah.
I appreciated it.
No
I'm a
problem.
big fan.
Are we still going?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I think you guys each got 2 more.
Hey, Cabana.
Yeah, Vince.
Why is the equal sign so humble?
Why?
Because he knows he isn't greater than or less than anyone else.
Man, you're coming up with some math and thinking ones today. I gotta give you credit, but I kind of don't like math, so keeping it together, it's helping me.
Going over your head.
Easy for him to block it out.
I'm trying to repress all that math stuff, but yeah. Anyway. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
How did the vegan mom fix her flat?
Oh, I don't know.
A spare, I guess.
Nice.
No, not really.
Who
Who left?
Hey, Cabana.
Hey, Vince.
Why was the student upset when his teacher called him average?
I don't know.
It was a mean thing to say.
You're kind of like working it, and then you got me with that one. So,
Point, Vince.
You built it up. You got me on the road, and then you just yeah. All right, you got me with one. All right, man. Hey Vince.
Hey Cabana.
What do you give a cannibal who shows up late to dinner?
I don't know.
A cold shoulder.
Nice.
Richie's like,
She's like, what? That is awful.
last one.
Those are not my words.
Is this our last one?
Last one.
All right. What's a carnivore's favorite consensus algorithm?
Here we go again.
I don't know, Vince. What?
Proof of stake.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Vince got laughed on 2 of those jokes pretty solidly, and you guys were down 1. So I mean, I'm gonna have to give it to Cabana this time.
I got one in your pocket here.
Oh, you got one in your pocket here too.
Yeah, I have one left. I went last.
Oh.
Hey, Vince.
Hey Cabana.
Why was the guitar teacher single?
I don't know why.
He couldn't finger correctly.
Wow.
I'll shit myself out.
That was good.
This shit's great. Proof of stake. I like that one a lot.
All right, that brings us to the end of happy hour. Thanks, Kirk and Richie. We're going to throw it over to Hexo in a minute, but we'll go around the room. Vince, tell everybody where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at CryptoVince369.
Outstanding. Richie.
You can find me on Twitter at what am I? Richie Rich Crypto, and then I have a YouTube channel too, the Richie Rich World.
Funding Jim did not like our jokes.
Make the pain go away. That's great.
Brad, love you, man. Thank you. Lights out.
Thanks for hanging out, Brad.
We all know what's up.
Big Krakowski and Twitter at Big Krakowski. You can catch me over at Dlive, Twitch, YouTube, all that at Big Krakowski as well. February starts up another season of Bingo Earth. So we'll have, if you want to win some hex and play some bingo, we'll start up some bingo games. The prize packages will be a little different than last year. I think last year we started out giving away 50,000 hex per bingo win, and it's a lot of money now. So
Heck yeah, man. Hopefully more and more. Right?
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, so we'll be giving away that. You can check us out at bingo.earth, and same thing for the Twitter handle too, at bingo.earth.
Awesome. Well, Cabana Crypto on all the platforms, Dlive, Twitch, YouTube. And thanks again for Richie, Kirk, of course, Vince. You've been here every single one, man. So we got to keep the joke-offs going. But just a really cool discussion about, I think we covered a lot, actually, especially, sorry, Kirk, you couldn't be in for the other discussion. Was mostly Richard's tweets and whatnot about the Uniswap liquidity coming down. I think he said it was like 105, and then it ended up being like in the 50s. So, but anyway, yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. We'll do it again. I'll reach out if you guys are interested.
Yeah.
Line one up. Everybody go check out Hexologists, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys.
All right.
Later.
Yeah.